Alright. By the year 2033, the global sports fan base is set to grow to an estimated 4 billion people worldwide. And with the rise in social media making highlights more accessible, the popularity of sports shows and podcasts, and just simply innovative marketing strategies by athletes, making them more relatable and personable, it's clear that sports is becoming more than just a pastime for many people. And it's not just a kid's game as many people refer to it as. Sports is requiring more of a financial, emotional, and time investment than ever before. And that's where the lines between sports and religion are becoming more blurred. Because one, sports and religion both have designated places of reverence. For example, in a country like the UK, football stadiums are seen as pseudo-state institutions because they are of their deep cultural significance to many people across their cities and towns. In the case of Liverpool and Manchester United, because of their links to the working class and their rich history of success and tragedy, these clubs have become bedrocks of these communities and these cities. These football clubs might not have the same roots as, say, the Church of England, with its links to the royal family or the deep ideology. Both religious and sports institutions are equally held in deep regard by the people who follow them. And secondly, they consistently and historically draw large crowds of people together in celebration and also in extreme devotion. It seems normal now, but 20,000 people gathered together to watch 11 men or women running around a rectangle is not normal. And psychologists have noted that the same feelings that fans in stadiums experience when they're chanting, when they are rooting for their team, is similar to the same feelings that are experienced in religious places of worship, like a church. The communion of fans drawing together to sing for their team, to chant, creates this euphoric emotional state that goes beyond the outcome. And it bonds these people coming from different places and backgrounds. And it creates this sense of community and belonging that people resonate with. And it's almost spiritual in a sense. And thirdly, they both make a shit ton of money. The sports industry is worth an estimated $680 billion US. And with global consumption of sports going up and viewership numbers going up, that number is expected to skyrocket even more. Religion, on the other hand, is worth an estimated $1.5 trillion US to the global economy, making it one of the largest contributors to the global GDP. These two figures show that sports and religion are not just modest and docile members or contributors to the global economy, but they are major role players and big contributors to the lives and livelihoods of people across the globe. And sports in particular has a very interesting dynamic in everyday life because unlike religion, which has a set of rules and standards for people to conform to, sports does not have any set of guidelines for people to follow or refer to. And with sports being as influential as it is today, that led to the question that I wanted to answer in this video, which is, what is the theology of sports? The answer is money. I'm not even gonna like draw it out or anything. The answer is money. The sports industry has shown that if you offer, or if you make enough money, they're willing to put up with a lot. So, back to the theology of sports. I find it hilarious that to discuss the theology of sports, we have to talk about a man who many people refer to as Black Jesus. Or one person who Larry Bird said was not blank playing out there. That was God disguised as black. If you're not aware of the man I'm talking about Michael Jordan, 6-time NBA champion, 5-time MVP, and 14-time NBA All-Star, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Michael Jordan, or MJ, is widely considered one of the greatest NBA players of all time. And while his exploits on the court made him a certified GOAT, his exploits off the court, which is the reason why we can't have this conversation about the theology of sports without discussing it. When Michael Jeffrey Jordan stepped onto the court on the 17th of November 1984 in those black and red Air Force Ones, history was made. Not because Michael Jordan was reportedly fined 5,000 per game because those shoes went against NBA protocol or regulations. Not because the team at Nike.
On September 15th, Nike created a revolutionary new basketball shoe. On October 18th, the NBA threw them out of the game. Fortunately, the NBA can't stop you from wearing them. Air Jordans from Nike.
Which gave the shoe just enough marketing buzz to be looked at as this new revolutionary and edgy shoe. Michael Jordan and his mother, Dolores Jordan, negotiated with Nike a deal which paid Michael Jordan reportedly $2.5 million up front, along with stocks and also bonuses in play. But the kicker was Michael Jordan negotiated for 5% royalty on every Air Jordan shoe sold. At the time, that was a small caveat, but looking back, many consider that endorsement deal as one of the greatest sports deals of all time. When Michael Jordan and Nike signed the deal, Nike expected to make only $3 million over the next 4 years. They made $126 million in the first year. And that number has continued to skyrocket because Michael Jordan's popularity, the Air Jordan's popularity, not just in the USA, but also globally, skyrocketed revenue to a point where the Jordan brand accounted for at one time 65% of all Nike revenue. The unprecedented success of the Air Jordan shoe and Michael Jordan's popularity not just in the USA but also globally ushered in this new wave of athletes being seen as commercial brands. When you hear the name LeBron James, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lewis Hamilton, and Serena Williams, that feeling you get even when their names are mentioned is tied to the blueprint that Michael Jordan brought into existence. With the success of Michael Jordan and the Air Jordan brand, corporations, sports teams, and even athletes themselves began viewing themselves and positioning themselves not just as athletes, but now as brands, ready to cater to the consumer's needs and even their desires. This shift in the marketing and also the commercialization of sports athletes changed the trajectory of this industry forever. One of the most famous taglines for Michael Jordan's advertising run was, "Everyone wants to be like Mike." And this specific tagline is one that I feel like perfectly sets up our next discussion into the theology of sports, which is the meta-analysis of the sports consumer. Okay, so this is my non-professional guy on the YouTube, not research, but kind of research take. But I believe that one of the biggest reasons why the Jordan brand became what it was, especially in those early years, was because capitalistic reforms that encourage hyper-consumerism and this need to just buy and buy and buy. And it's kind of like moved people towards this like release culture where you feel every drop, and every year a new Jordan comes out and you have to buy it because it's the newest shoe, and if you buy it then you're looked as this cool dude and everyone looks at you and everything like that. And now even in culture, it's this a statement of your status. It's how you're able to communicate to people without words that you have a certain amount of money or you have a certain character or you're cool and all of these things. Everyone wants to be like Mike. And why wouldn't you want to be like Michael Jordan? He's quite frankly the pinnacle of success. He's this image of greatness. He's good at almost everything. And the marketing strategy around him fed into that. It fed into this godlike imagery. And this imagery was pushed into TVs, on commercials and all of these different advertisements that just further created this aura around Michael Jordan. I mean, think about it. The logo of the Air Jordan brand is literally Michael Jordan soaring through the air. Literally. So literally it's everything just fed into this culture and this environment. And so it's like this cycle of like, you want to buy it to be like this guy who's so good, who's seemingly perfect, and everyone wants to be like you. And now it's also this cultural symbol of success, of coolness, and that is literally continued on for, what is it now? I think it's 40 years now, if I'm not mistaken, of the Air Jordan brand releasing a shoe every year. But I do think that the marketing strategies, and I think and the tools which are still being used today to market athletes or people in influential positions, just to make it more broad, has created a machine which maximizes and plays on people's self-worth, their identity, and also their insecurities, in a way which I believe we need to take a step back and really evaluate how much or how we are putting these athletes on a pedestal. I mean, are they these perfect role models? They have to be these perfect role models that do everything right, say everything right, and it's now they have to live in this world or this cage of perfection. And if they say something wrong or do something wrong or play out of that character, they're immediately demonized or harassed online. Athletes are literally the closest thing that you could find to human body perfection, in my opinion. They're able to jump faster, they're able to run faster, do things for longer. It's one of their job descriptions. But I believe that one of the things that we do forget a lot, especially because of the marketing around or behind athletes, is that they're still human beings at the end of the day. And regardless of how fast you can run, how long you can jump, or how much you can kick a ball, you're still liable to face the same human challenges, the same human emotions, and the same human pitfalls as every regular human being. So what happens when this image of perfection presented by athletes becomes too perfect for even them to live up to? And what happens when people are chasing this image of perfection, hoping to attain this sense of satisfaction, this sense of achievement? What you end up with is a bunch of empty people running around and chasing these symbols or signals of success. And unfortunately, after attaining it, they're just left even more empty, realizing there's another mountain to climb, and realizing that unfortunately it doesn't satisfy them. And no matter how many championships you win, and no matter how many shoes you buy, it's not enough. Wow. Okay. That was heavy. At the end of every video, I like to give like 3 practical things that we can do, or that can like how to deal with like whatever problem or challenge that I bring up in all of these like videos, right? So I like to call this segment the Big 3. To kickstart the Big 3 off, we have number 1, and breathe. Sports is heavy. I've seen countless videos and reactions and just TikToks and whatever it is of like Man United fans just like going crazy over the loss yesterday or 2 days ago. And obviously, yes, I'm not saying that we shouldn't feel, but I think that so often we always find ourselves as fans forgetting to take a step back, forgetting to take a deep breath, to just give ourselves a chance to detach from these heavy and intense emotions. And we forget to just like breathe, just to be like, they lost or they won, and I'm really happy, and that's it. Obviously, that emotional feelings is a big part of sports fandom, but I would encourage a lot of fans to really just like take a step back and just breathe. And number 2, contentment. One of the most powerful tools that sports companies and sports marketing brands play or corporations play is they always target a specific need. They always target our belief that we are not enough, that there's something that we are missing, or there's something that we don't have that we need to buy or we need to work towards, and it's usually these images of success or these ideas of that once you get to a certain point, that's when you can stop, that's when you can appreciate like what you have, or there's a level of success that you always need to keep striving for. And so a powerful tool against that is contentment. It's you saying, in this moment, I have enough. I know I don't have a lot, I know I don't have everything, but even if I did have everything, I have enough. This is like a perfect, but like Philippians 4:12-13. I know what it is to have much, and I know what it is to have little. And the secret that I've discovered in all of this is that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's literally just perfect. It's such a perfect description of it. Of what contentment is, basically. Alright, and then third, we have love. As fans, we need to learn how to learn. We need to learn how to love. We need to learn how to appreciate. We're always analyzing, we're always looking at them with this analytical mind. What is their value? What value do they bring? Everything is always these X and O's, these numbers, zeros, ones, and all of that. And one of the things I feel that we need as fans is to learn how to love, to learn how to appreciate. And I think that learning to love simply these athletes, just because of their people first, is going to go so much further in challenging the way that we talk about them. I mean, for example, Jason Tatum, obviously he wasn't playing well, but like the way that people would talk about him, the jokes, all of these things, some of them in bad nature, like you literally, and then the 180 that happens when he goes down with his injury, it's like all of these things, like we forget to love, we forget to appreciate. So a lot of times we forget to appreciate, especially, and we only start to appreciate when things go wrong, which is very sad, honestly. So obviously, hey, actually let's go another verse. 1 Corinthians 13, I think it's chapter 13. That first bit, love, what love is. Love is kind, love is patient, it's not arrogant, it doesn't demand its own way. It's literally all of these different things, all of these different like set points. Bro, we need love as fans. We need to love the game, just love the people. There's so much that we can do. There's so much that we need to. I feel like if we operate as fans from a place of love, there's so much more joy that can come out of from that, in my opinion. Yeah. What else? Let's add a fourth one. Just for fives. But the fourth one would be gratitude. Gratitude. I think that's another thing that we can add is just gratitude. Being grateful for the ability to experience, being grateful for the experience, for the ability to have something or enjoy something. I think in the culture that's always like, what's next? Or honestly, nothing stays new for too long, and everything is like always you seeking and searching and wanting the next thing and the next thing and the next drop and the next game, and everything is like, so it's easy to forget to be grateful. So I think learning how to be grateful and practicing that, all of these things, practicing contentment, practicing love, practicing gratitude, all of these different things will just play a huge role in, I think, creating a better sports environment, not just for us, but also for athletes as well. And also to protect ourselves from, like, honestly, like, not terrible, but like, predatory marketing strategies, if I could just put it like that. Alright. Yeah, so that's all my 4, big 3 plus 1, basically. Excuse me. Alright. Alright, I don't think I'm gonna cut that out. I'm just gonna continue from here. Anyways, guys, or whoever's watching now, thank you so much. If you do get to this point, that's the end of the video. I really appreciate each and every one of you. These videos are extremely fun. I hope that it's been an extremely fun video to watch, and I hope that, because it's such a fun experience to write and to like have fun with ideas and everything. So man, thank you so much if you do get to this point. I love you very, very much, and yeah, I will see you guys somewhere, somehow on one of these channels. Peace.